So just now we have seen that infinitives can be used as a nouns, and there are some other kinds of verbs also which can be used as a nouns. And that the second one is a gerund. The second one is a gerund. Now, he is swimming. He is swimming. He likes swimming. Two sentences are there. Two sentences are there. In this, he is the subject. Is swimming is a verb. Isn't it? Yes. Here, he is a subject again. Likes is the verb. Swimming. We have the same word. Here also we have a swimming. Swim plus ing, swim plus ing. But here, swimming is used as an object. Object means what? A noun or a pronoun. Okay? A receiver of the action done by the subject on the verb is called an object, isn't it? Yes. So, here, swimming can be considered as an object only if that is a noun or a pronoun. A pronoun is a word which replaces a noun. So, swimming cannot replace any other word, but the swimming itself is a name of an action. Isn't it? It's not an action. This is action. He is swimming means he is in the water and he is doing the activity of swimming. But here, he loves the activity called swimming. Okay? Got difference. In the first sentence, we are dealing with the activity directly. In the second sentence, we are not doing that activity, but we are using the name of that activity, and that is called swimming. Okay? Again, they are reading. But he hates reading. But he hates reading. In the first sentence, are reading is the verb. In the second sentence, hates is the verb, but reading is a noun. So when we use an ing form of a verb, any verb with ing as a noun, that is called a gerund. So what do you mean by a gerund? A gerund is nothing else but the ing form of a verb which can be used as a noun. Okay? So to infinitive is one kind of a noun which can be used, one kind of a verb which can be used as a noun. The noun, gerund, ing form of a noun, verb which is used as a noun is called a gerund. Okay? So we should not believe, or we say no, driving without helmet is dangerous. Okay? So in the sentence, driving without helmet, driving is a noun. Isn't it? He loves driving bikes. He loves is the verb. Driving bikes, the noun part. Okay? So ing form of a verb can be used as a noun in a sentence, and such nouns are called gerunds. Right? So gerunds are verbs. Which verbs? Ing form of the verbs which is used as a nouns. Okay? So now we will do an activity related to this. Fine? Okay. The second thing that we have learned in the fun with the grammar part was the gerund, an ing form of a verb which is used as a noun. Right? So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sentences are given there. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and gerunds in the box. What we need to do is we need to read these sentences and identify the suitable gerunds with which we can complete those blanks. Okay. So Madhuri's hobby is, what can be a hobby there? Conserving is not a hobby. Harvesting, no. Walking, no way. Swimming can be a hobby, isn't it? Yes. Swimming. Madhuri's hobby is swimming. Dash is allowed when a person turns 18 years old and get a license. License is needed for driving. Yes. So driving is allowed when a person turns 18 years old and able to get a license. Dash water is important for all of us. Conserving water is important for all of us. People in my colony have started harvesting rainwater. People in my colony have started what? Harvesting rainwater. Dash is very good for exercise. Walking is very good for exercise. My aunt is an expert in cooking. Okay. So Madhuri's hobby is swimming. Driving is allowed when a person turns 18 years old and gets a license. Conserving water is important for all of us. People in my colony have started harvesting rainwater. Walking is a very good exercise. My aunt is an expert in cooking. Okay. So that's it, the exercise part of Gerund. And now I will keep this screen the same for another minute so that we can read these sentences once again thoroughly. Okay. Yeah. The next is present participle. Present participle form of a verb is nothing else but the ing form of the verb. Okay. Any verb, for example, we have a run. R-U-N-N-I-N-G, running, isn't it? Huh? Eat. E-A-T-I-N-G, eating. Huh? Sleep. Okay. So the same way, when we add ing to a verb, what we get is a present participle. Okay. Present participle is a verb form, and this verb form we get by adding ing to a base form of a verb. When we add ing to the base form of a verb, then what we get is called a present participle. So present participle is usually used to express incomplete actions. Incomplete actions means, for example, we can say, I saw him playing in the ground. I saw him playing in the ground. So when I saw he was playing there, after that I don't know. He had not completed a playing there. Okay. Or we can say, I met him crossing the road. I was crossing the road. He was also crossing the road. We haven't completed the process of crossing, then I met him. Or I saw him going to the library. So he was not inside the library, he was going towards the library, walking into the library. Okay. So in these situations, when we have to express an incomplete action, then we use present participles. Okay. Then we can use present participle as adjectives also. For example, she wrote an interesting story. So here, story is the noun, interesting, ing form of the verb. Interest is a verb, interest, interested, interested. Present participle is ing form, interesting. So here, interesting is a word that is used to say something about the verb with the noun story, isn't it? So here, interesting is used as an adjective. Okay? Then we can say the sleeping princess. The old story we have, no? A princess who is continuously sleeping. Yes. The sleeping princess was so pretty. The sleeping princess was so pretty. Here, the sleeping princess. Princess is a noun and sleeping is a word that says something about the princess. What kind of a princess was that? She was a sleeping princess. She was kept under the charm by the witch, isn't it? Yes. So sleeping, again, sleep, slept, slept. Three forms of the verb: sleep, slept, slept. Sleep is a verb. Sleeping is an ing form of the verb sleep. That is again a present participle, but that is now used as an adjective to say something about the princess. Okay. So ing form of a verb is called a present participle. Present participle is basically used in two situations. One, if you want to express an incomplete action. Two, if you want to use as an adjective. Okay. So ing form of a verb is called a present participle. It can be used in two different situations. One, when we have to tell some incomplete actions. I met him while closing the road. While closing, right? Then it can be used as an adjective to describe or tell more about a noun. Okay. So now we have an activity related to this. We will do that and we'll be back, right? So there is another exercise from the gerund. Here, read the following sentences and underline the present participles. Oh, this is not from the gerunds. This is from present participles. So present participle means what? Ing form of the verb is called a present participle, isn't it? Yes. So here we have 5 sentences here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we need to identify the present participles. Present participle means what? Ing form of the verb. Okay. So we need to read these sentences and identify the ing form of the verbs given there. Right? So I saw him shouting for help. So what is the ing form of the verb there? Shout, shouting, isn't it? And that is a present participle form. So what should we do? We need to take a line from here and keep under shouting. While cutting vegetables, she cut her finger. So what is the present participle there? The ing form of the verb, cutting. Yes. We all saw a farmer irrigating the field. Ing form of the verb is irrigating, isn't it? Yes, that is the present participle also. So what should we do? We should take a line, draw a line under irrigating. Right. Looking for an important paper, I found the photographs of my great-grandparents. Yes, looking. Okay. Sleeping under a tree at night is dangerous. We have learned that in the science, okay? It's not the science what we need now. What we need is a present participle. What is the present participle in this? Sleep, ing, sleeping, right? That's it. So in the first sentence, I saw him shouting for help. Shouting is the present participle. While cutting vegetables, she cut her finger. Cutting is a present participle. We all saw a farmer irrigating the field. Irrigating is a present participle. Looking for an important paper, I found the photographs of my great-grandparents. Looking is a present participle. Sleeping under a tree at night is dangerous. Sleeping is a present participle. Right? So now I will keep the screen the same for another minute for you so that we can read it once again. Okay. Again, another one with the present participles. Read the following sentences and underline the present participles. State which noun or event they are describing. The first one is done for you. So, the dancing peacock looked beautiful. The present participle verb is dancing and they are describing peacock. The noun peacock. Okay. In the second one, the roaring tiger looked very scary. A roaring tiger. Yes, the roaring tiger looked scary. So, which one is the present participle in that? Roaring, isn't it? And that is describing the noun tiger. Okay. Third one, the speeding taxi suddenly came to a halt. So, what is the present participle in that? Speeding. Yes. And it is describing the noun taxi. Right? The visiting doctor has a child specialist. The visiting doctor was a child specialist. So, what is the present participle in that? Visiting. Right? The visiting doctor was a child specialist. And the word visiting is describing the noun doctor. Okay. So, in the first one, dancing peacock looked beautiful. Dancing is the present participle and that is describing the noun peacock. The second sentence, the roaring tiger looked very scary. In that, roaring is the present participle and it is describing the noun tiger. Third one, the speeding taxi suddenly came to a halt. Speeding is a verb in present participle and that is describing the noun taxi. Fourth, the visiting doctor was a child specialist. Visiting is the verb in the present participle and a doctor is the noun it describes. Right? So now I will keep the screen the same for another minute so that you can go through that once again. You can read it thoroughly. Fine. Okay, after present participle, now it is time for the past participle. Okay, it's now the time for the past participle. Now, what do you mean by past participle? Yeah, when we write the verb has got a 5 forms are there. Every verb has got a 5 forms, isn't it? Okay, for example, let us write one's work. First form is work or works. Second is work. Third, work. Fourth, working. Fifth, will or shall work. Okay. Now, if we write other word like eat or eats, ate, eaten, eating, will or shall eat. Right? So like this, all verbs have got a 5 verb forms. This is the base form. This is 1. This is 2. This is 3. Okay. V1, V2, V3. V1, V2 and V3. This is the past participle form of the verb. So, past participle form of a verb is nothing else but the third form of the verb. Okay? A past participle form is the third form of the verb. And it is usually used to qualify or modify the noun used. Okay? Okay? Every verb has got 5 forms, and that the third form is called the past participle. The stored food was distributed to all. Okay, so here the stored food. Okay, stored food. Store, stored, stored. Stored, stored, stored. Stored is a verb. Stored is the third form of the verb and means it's a past participle form. So which food? The stored food. Okay. Packed food is easy to carry. Packed food is easy to carry. Packed food. What kind of a food? Packed food. Pack. Packed. Third form. Again packed. Isn't it? Pack, packed, packed. This is what we use here. So food is now described as a packed food. Okay. So the V3 or the past participle form of the verb is used to describe, to modify or to qualify a noun that comes after it. Okay. Right. So now we have got 5 sentences given there, of which we need to write identify the past participle form of the verb in that. Okay. So in Fun with the Grammar, we have learned about the past participle tense form of the verb also, isn't it? Yes. So now here, underline the past participles in the following sentences. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 sentences are here. And in all these 5 sentences, there are past participle verbs there in that. So what we need to do now is we need to identify the past participle form of the verb used in these sentences and underline them, right? So the first one, remove the faded clothes from your wardrobe immediately. Remove the faded clothes from your wardrobe immediately. So what is a past participle verb used in that? Faded, right? So we need to draw a line under that. Yes. Done. The repainted bike fetched a good price in the market. The repainted bike fetched a good price in the market. Repainted. The married couple was the center of attraction for one and all. The married couple was the center of attraction for one and all. So, married. Huh? Marry, married, married. Yes. Fourth one, never throw a rejected idea into a dustbin at once. Never throw a rejected idea into the dustbin at once. A rejected idea, isn't it? So, what is the past participle in that? Rejected. Reject, rejected, rejected. It's easy to carry bottled water. What kind of water? Bottled water. So, what is the past participle here? Bottled. Yes. So, the first sentence, remove the faded clothes from your wardrobe immediately. Faded is the verb in the past participle form. Then the repainted bike fetched a good price in the market. Repainted is the word in past participle form. The married couple was the center of attraction for one and all. Married is the word which is in past participle form. Never throw a rejected idea into the dustbin at once. Rejected is the word in past participle form. It's easy to carry bottled water. Bottled is the word in past participle form. Right? So now I will keep this screen the same for another minute so that you can read these sentences and identify the past participles again by yourselves. Right?